Hi, Jane and Ian. It's Christina from The Upcoming. It's so lovely to speak with you today. Congratulations on the film. Would you like to start by sharing what The Extraordinary Miss Flower is about and what people can expect going in?
Expect the unexpected. It is an impossible film to describe.
I think the closest we've managed to get is being described as a musical,
Yeah.
which is it's a hard one to take because it's not a
Thought of
very...
myself as the maker of a musical.
No.
It attempts to sort of enchant you and spellbind you and hold you in the imagination of the brilliant artist Emiliana Torini, who created an album out of finding a box of letters. And in that, I mean, the stories in that are just brilliant. So the film brings to life some of those letters through the voices of Richard Ayoade and Nick Cave, Mark Monero, some brilliant letter readers. And then there's a sort of journey through the studio with the band and dancers and actors. Yeah, bringing the world of The Extraordinary Miss Flower to life.
And what were each of your favorite stories from the collection?
There was a number of letters from an Australian friend of Geraldine. Geraldine Flower lived most of her life in London, but she was from Australia. And one of her friends that she corresponded with over the years was a very, very verbose Australian who wrote the longest letters.
At least 10 pages. Yeah.
And they were just the language is so rich and evocative and, just fires your imagination just from these words on a page. So I really felt invested in the story reading those letters.
It really makes you think that what have we lost as a sort of society now, that we used to write these confessional, heartfelt kind of outpourings and then put them in an envelope and send them away. So I'm sure saying things that you really wouldn't commit to print or to, onto electronic or digital media, and yet you'd send these missives across the world, and they're just they're just incredible. There was a poem that Geraldine wrote to one of the guys, and she still had a copy, so we don't actually know whether he ever saw it. I don't know. And that poem became one of the songs. It's called Love Poem, and it is just remarkable. It's really beautiful. Yeah, it's really lovely, kind of finally hearing her voice in it.
And more about the stories. What was the most surprising or shocking story that you found in the collection?
I mean, the drug bust, no?
Yeah.
9 marriage proposals.
That was surprising.
Yeah, that's definitely, some of the guys seem to have connections to espionage in some way. They were routing letters around London. That was really surprising. But for us, it was, I guess, our gateway into it was Emiliana's imagination. So she would let her imagination run wild. And so the film's able to do that as well. It kind of meets that creative act.
What was your biggest takeaway from the entire film process?
I think it's got to be about, sometimes it's really good to just decide to make something happen, regardless of what the kind of consequences of that are going to be. So we set out with a really small budget, a really short amount of time, but a massive kind of set of ambitious ideas. And yet the piece came together, and now it's here at the London Film Festival. That, I think, just sometimes you kind of have to retool in order to make something work, in order to make something happen.
No, I think that's a very good answer. I think for me it really brought home how much we lose through not communicating anymore, in the way that, everything is being kind of miniaturized to, the length of an email, the length of a TikTok, the length of a text message, or, it just feels like everything is about how brief can we make it. And I think there's advantages to that, but there's so much lost in not just taking the time to enjoy communication, enjoy language, enjoy subtlety. And
you're right, because what happens, that that process of writing to somebody else is not just about a communication to another person. It's also about working stuff out in your own head. You know that it's a kind of a mode of kind of mental health, I guess. You know that you can confess and explain and apologize and dream and where are those spaces now? How do we do that now?
Thank you. Thank you
Cool.
so much.